Have you ever heard of a man named Alan Turing? Maybe you've heard his name before, maybe you haven't. But what if I told you that everything you do on your phone, your tablet, your laptop, all of it is because of this guy right here? Everything you do on your computer would not be possible if it wasn't for him. In fact, he helped develop some of the earliest computers, and many experts believe that if it weren't for him, we would still be using typewriters and paper. That is why in this video we are gonna take a look back at the incredible life of Alan Turing. But first, if you're new here, I'd like to ask you to help me out by hitting that subscribe button. It'll really help us grow, and I can't thank you enough for doing that. Now let's get started. So during World War II, German forces were dominating Europe, and they had invented something called the Enigma machine. This device could generate billions of different combinations every second, and it was used to encrypt messages so that enemies couldn't read them. In other words, if you wanted to send a message to your friend across the battlefield, you type it into the Enigma machine and it would turn it into gibberish. Then your friend would receive the gibberish, type it into their own Enigma machine, and voila, it would go back to normal because each machine generated a different set of letters. It was very hard to crack this encryption. In fact, the German High Command believed that it was impossible to break. That is until one man came along who proved them wrong. His name was Alan Turing, and he was one of the most brilliant mathematicians of his generation. In fact, he was so smart that he was recruited by British intelligence to try and crack the Enigma code. Now, you might be wondering why I'm talking about warfare on a channel dedicated to math. Well, you're right, but trust me, this story is going to be interesting. Plus, it's a great example of how math can be used to solve real-world problems. So when Turing was approached by British intelligence, he didn't hesitate to accept the challenge. He knew that breaking the Enigma code would be extremely difficult, but he was up for the task. After all, he was one of the smartest men alive, and he had a knack for solving puzzles. He gathered a team of like-minded individuals, and together they set to work. They analyzed thousands of encrypted messages, trying to find patterns and anomalies that could lead them to the key to cracking the code. However, despite their best efforts, they were unable to make any significant progress. Then one day, Turing had a breakthrough. He realized that the Enigma machine wasn't generating random letters. Instead, it was following a set of rules that were based on mathematical principles. Once he understood this, he was able to design a machine that could test thousands of possibilities at lightning speed. He called it the bomb machine, and with the help of the bomb machine, Turing and his team were finally able to decode German messages. This discovery was a major turning point in the war. It allowed the Allies to anticipate German movements and launch successful counterattacks. In fact, historians say that Turing's work may have shortened the war by 2 years, saving millions of lives. It was truly a remarkable achievement, and it is no wonder that Turing is considered to be one of the greatest mathematicians of the 20th century. However, there's more to his story than just breaking the Enigma code. You see, Turing wasn't just a brilliant mathematician. He was also a pioneer in the field of computer science. While working at Bletchley Park, he designed a number of machines that were used to decode German messages. These machines are now considered to be some of the earliest computers ever built. For example, the bomb machine that he designed was able to test thousands of Enigma settings in just a matter of seconds, which was much faster than any human could do. This was a major accomplishment, and it paved the way for the development of modern computers. Unfortunately, Turing's contributions to computer science didn't receive much attention during his lifetime. This was due to a number of factors, including the fact that his work was classified and the fact that he was gay in a time when homosexuality was still illegal in Britain. As a result, he was persecuted by the British government, and his career was effectively ended. Despite this, Turing continued to work on his research, and he made significant contributions to the field of artificial intelligence. He developed a test that is still used today to determine whether a machine can think. This is known as the Turing test, and it has become one of the most famous thought experiments in the history of computer science. Sadly, Turing's life was cut short when he died in 1954 at the age of 41. He had been convicted of gross indecency for his relationship with a young man and was sentenced to prison. Rather than serve his sentence, he chose to take his own life. It was a tragic end for a man who had made such significant contributions to science and mathematics. However, in recent years, there has been a growing effort to recognize Turing's contributions and to honor his legacy. In 2009, he was pardoned by Queen Elizabeth II, and in 2013, a statue was erected in his honor in Manchester, England. Additionally, there have been several books and documentaries produced about his life and work. One of the most notable of these is the 2014 film The Imitation Game, which tells the story of Turing's life and work at Bletchley Park. The film was critically acclaimed and helped to bring Turing's story to a wider audience. So that's the incredible story of Alan Turing, the man who cracked the Enigma code and helped to pave the way for the development of modern computers. He was a brilliant mathematician and computer scientist whose contributions to science and technology are immeasurable. Sadly, he was persecuted for his homosexuality and his life was cut short. But his legacy lives on through the countless people whose lives he touched and the work he left behind. It's important to remember that Turing's story isn't just a relic of the past. It's a story that's still being written. Every time you use a computer or the internet, you're benefiting from the work he did. So it's important to know who he was and what he accomplished. I know this is a bit serious for a math channel, but as I said before, his story is so amazing that I just had to tell it. So now I want to hear from you. What did you think of Alan Turing's story? If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and share it with your friends. And if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button. I would love to have you join the community. Also, if you want to learn more about Alan Turing, I'll link some resources in the description below. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned something new, and I'll see you next time. Hey, thanks for sticking around until the end of the video. If you enjoyed this content, please don't forget to hit like and subscribe. It really helps support the channel and allows us to keep producing videos that you love. As a small creator, I rely on views and engagement to keep my channel growing. By supporting my channel, you're helping me to reach a wider audience and spread my passion for math. And hey, if you have a friend who loves math too, be sure to share my videos with them. It's the best way to support my channel and help us grow together. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.